Have you ever felt that tension deep inside when making a decision about your relationships, knowing that it could shape your future? How many times have you acted without truly seeking Allah's guidance first? Often, we make choices in the heat of the moment, caught in the whirlwind of emotions, without pausing to ask, "What is Allah's will for me here?" In these moments, we must remember that every step we take, especially in matters of the heart, must be aligned with the path He has intended for us. When we face challenges, particularly in our relationships, it's easy to act impulsively, but rushing into decisions without prayer or reflection leaves us vulnerable to straying from the best path Allah has for us. Allah's wisdom surpasses everything, and sometimes it's not about what we want in the moment, but about trusting that He knows what is best for us in the long run. Allah communicates with us in ways we may not always understand at first. He doesn't always speak directly through words, but He sends signs, feelings, and circumstances to guide us. In Surah At-Tawbah 9:51, Allah reminds us, "Say, never will we be struck except by what Allah has decreed for us. He is our protector." This verse teaches us to trust in Allah's plan even when it feels like everything around us is uncertain. Before acting on our own, we must seek Allah's direction in every decision. Often, in the heat of emotional turmoil, it can feel like we have no way out, or that we're making the wrong choices. But Allah, in His infinite mercy, has already provided us with guidance, if we only stop to listen. It's in these critical moments when asking Allah to guide us becomes a powerful step toward clarity. True peace comes not from what we decide on our own, but from aligning our will with Allah's perfect plan. Only when we turn to Him for direction can we find the strength and wisdom to move forward with confidence. You may be standing at a crossroads, unsure of whether to let go or to hold on. The struggles you face in your relationships seem unbearable, and the thought of walking away feels like the only way to find peace. But what if Allah is telling you to hold on, even when every part of you wants to give up? When you feel this internal tug of war, it's often a sign that Allah's plan is unfolding in ways you might not fully understand. In Surah Ash-Shar 94, 5-6, Allah promises, "For indeed, with hardship will be ease." This verse teaches us that even in the hardest times, Allah's wisdom is at work, and what seems like a struggle now may eventually lead to a blessing. It is through perseverance, not through quick decisions made in frustration, that we truly align ourselves with Allah's purpose. The moment we feel the urge to let go, we are often closer to the solution than we realize. Have you ever felt a sense of unease when trying to break a bond with someone, even though the relationship is far from perfect? The signs from Allah that you should hold on are often subtle but undeniable. You might find yourself unable to find a legitimate reason to end the relationship, no matter how difficult things seem. Perhaps the pain and misunderstandings are too much to bear, but deep down, there's a nagging feeling that walking away isn't the right choice. In these moments, the wisdom of Allah becomes clearer. He does not want us to abandon what He has ordained for us. Instead, He calls us to show patience, to trust that the relationship will bear fruit in the future if we remain steadfast. When we feel the weight of uncertainty, that is when we must turn to Allah and ask for His help in seeing the bigger picture. Allah's plan is not always immediate or easy to understand, but in holding on, we align ourselves with a future that only He can see. When the world around you seems to be telling you to move on, and the weight of the situation makes it feel as if there's no way forward, you might find a sense of peace in the most unexpected places. Have you ever noticed that when you're at your lowest, someone comes along with words that mirror your heart's deepest cry? Perhaps it's a friend, a relative, or even someone you barely know, yet their advice feels as though it's coming directly from Allah. This is no coincidence. Allah, in His infinite mercy, speaks through the voices of those around us. When we find ourselves surrounded by the counsel of wise people, people who encourage us to hold on, to be patient, and to trust in the future, it's important to recognize that these words may not just be their own. They could be Allah's guidance, sent through them to remind us of His will. In Surah Ash-Shura 42:23, Allah says, "Say, I do not ask you for it any reward except for love for my near relatives." This verse speaks to the idea that Allah places good counsel in the hearts of those who care about us, and they become His vessels of guidance. It's easy to dismiss advice when you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed, but when the same message comes from multiple sources, it's a sign that you need to pause and reflect. If you are constantly hearing from trusted sources that you should hold on and not give up on your relationship, perhaps Allah is using these voices to reinforce His will. Sometimes we want to hear what suits our desires, but the truth is that the counsel of others, especially those whose hearts are aligned with Allah's wisdom, is a reflection of His greater plan for us. Patience is not always easy, and it's often in the moments of doubt that we are most vulnerable. But Allah is telling you through the voices of those around you, do not let go. The temporary discomfort you're experiencing now does not compare to the blessings that await you if you trust Allah's plan. So, listen closely to the advice you receive. It might just be Allah speaking directly to you through those who care about your well-being. Sometimes, Allah speaks to us in the quietest of moments, in ways that we might not fully understand at first. Yet, in the silence of the heart, there are whispers that guide us forward. How often do we look for answers in the world around us, and yet forget to listen to the dreams, the visions, and the feelings Allah places within us? Allah's communication is not always through external sources. Sometimes it is through the deep, personal insights He grants us in our sleep or in moments of reflection. In Surah Yusuf 12:6, Allah tells us, "And thus will your Lord choose you and teach you the interpretation of narratives and complete His favor upon you and upon the family of Jacob, as He completed it upon your forefathers, Abraham and Isaac. Indeed, your Lord is knowing and wise." Here, Allah speaks to the role of dreams as a source of divine guidance. Just as Allah used dreams to communicate with the prophets, He continues to guide His believers in similar ways. Dreams are not random. They are a powerful means by which Allah whispers the answers we seek, even when the path ahead seems unclear. When you dream about someone or the future of a relationship, consider it carefully. Allah may be showing you the potential, the promise, and the blessings that lie ahead, even if the present moment is filled with difficulty. These dreams are not to be taken lightly, for they are part of Allah's way of speaking to your heart, of encouraging you to hold on, even when the world seems to suggest otherwise. As with Joseph in his dream about Mary, Allah's guidance in our dreams often comes when we are at a crossroads. Joseph's initial thoughts were filled with confusion and doubt, but Allah's message through the angel provided clarity, urging him to hold on to what was destined for him. Similarly, when you feel conflicted about your relationship, pay attention to your dreams. Are you seeing signs of hope, of a better future, even when reality seems to paint a different picture? Allah is telling you to hold on and trust that the future He has planned will unfold in the most beautiful way. The pain of holding on can sometimes feel unbearable, especially when things are not going as we had hoped. We might feel like we're walking through a storm, clinging to a relationship that seems to be slipping through our fingers. But have you ever wondered if this struggle, this feeling of being stuck, could be the sign that Allah is calling you to trust in something greater? When the world is pushing you to walk away, Allah is testing your patience, your faith, and your ability to see the bigger picture beyond immediate struggles. In Surah Al-Baqarah 286, Allah reminds us, Allah does not burden a soul beyond that it can bear. This verse is a powerful reminder that even in the most challenging moments, Allah is with you. He knows your capacity, and He does not allow any hardship that you cannot endure. The difficulties you face in relationships are not punishment, but part of the test that will lead to a greater reward, provided you remain steadfast and trust in His timing. When you feel like giving up, remember that Allah's plans are always better than anything we can imagine for ourselves. Sometimes, it's in the very moments when we feel the urge to let go that Allah is preparing us for something even better. Holding on does not always mean staying in a painful situation indefinitely. It means trusting Allah to guide you through the struggle, knowing that He has something far greater in store for you on the other side. The discomfort you feel now may be Allah's way of purifying your heart, strengthening your resolve, and preparing you for the future He has planned for you. There is no ease without difficulty, and there is no reward without patience. When you endure, you not only grow spiritually, but also demonstrate your trust in Allah's perfect plan. So, even in the most trying moments, hold on. Know that the trials are temporary, and Allah's mercy and reward are eternal. He is using this moment to shape you into the person you are meant to become. At times, we feel like we are being tested beyond what we can endure, and when relationships grow difficult, the temptation to walk away can feel overwhelming. It is in these moments of inner turmoil that Allah's wisdom shines the brightest. The pain we experience when we want to let go is not merely a burden. It is a test, a moment in time where we are invited to place our trust in Allah's plan. We must ask ourselves, what is Allah teaching me through this struggle? Am I learning to be patient, to surrender my own will to His, to wait for the blessings He has promised? In Surah Ash-Shura 42:27, Allah reveals, if Allah had extended provision for His servants, they would have certainly rebelled in the earth. But He sends it in due measure as He wills. This verse serves as a reminder that Allah knows exactly what we need, and His decisions are made with perfect wisdom. The provisions, the blessings, and even the challenges we face in life come at the right time and in the right measure. Our role is not to resist, but to submit, trusting that the struggles are part of a greater plan. The relationship you may feel like giving up on right now could be the very trial through which Allah is refining your character, teaching you lessons in patience, humility, and perseverance. When you feel like your strength is running out and the urge to leave becomes unbearable, remember that this is the precise moment where your faith is being tested. This is the moment where Allah is waiting for you to call upon Him for help, to seek His mercy, and to trust that He will provide a way out. Allah does not burden a soul beyond what it can bear, and His test will not exceed your capacity to endure. It is through these trials that you will emerge stronger, wiser, and more in tune with His divine wisdom. Sometimes, the people around us may tell us to move on, to cut ties with someone who is causing us pain, and while their advice may be rooted in concern for our well-being, we must remember that Allah's guidance is higher than any worldly advice. His perspective encompasses everything we cannot see, the future, the potential, and the divine wisdom behind every moment. When we are caught in the emotions of the present, it is easy to lose sight of what Allah has planned for us. But by holding on, by staying patient, we place our trust in Him, knowing that He will never lead us astray. Consider the example of the Prophet Muhammad, who faced immense trials in his life. His family, his companions, and even his own people caused him pain, yet he never let go of his trust in Allah. Despite the suffering, he remained steadfast, knowing that Allah's plan for him was greater than any temporary hardship. In Surah Al-Imran 3:139, Allah reminds us, "So do not weaken and do not grieve, for you will be superior if you are true believers." The Prophet's perseverance was a lesson to all of us. In the face of trials, we must hold firm and trust that Allah's wisdom will carry us through. If you are experiencing hardship in your relationship, understand that this is part of the journey. You may not be able to see the outcome, but Allah has already paved the way for you. The struggle you face is part of the process of becoming the person Allah has destined you to be. The key is to remain patient, to seek refuge in Him, and to trust that the blessings He has in store will come at the right time. This is not just about holding on for the sake of holding on. It is about knowing that Allah is guiding you every step of the way. It is about acknowledging that His plan is far greater than anything we can imagine. When you trust in His will, even in the midst of uncertainty, you begin to see things from a divine perspective. The challenges you face will no longer seem insurmountable, but rather stepping stones toward a brighter future. As you reflect on your relationship, ask yourself, have I sought Allah's guidance through prayer? Have I asked for clarity and direction? The answer is not always clear in the moment, but through patience and prayer, you will come to see that Allah is guiding you, even when you feel lost. Trust in Him, for He knows what is best for you. Now, as you continue to navigate your challenges, remember that each moment of struggle is an opportunity to strengthen your faith. When you place your trust in Allah and remain steadfast, you are not only shaping your future, but also earning the reward and blessings that come with perseverance. It's important to remember that while the world may push you to make hasty decisions, the true peace comes from turning to Allah in prayer, asking for His guidance, and remaining patient. Your path may not be easy, but with Allah's mercy and your trust in His plan, you will find the strength to overcome any obstacle. Let your relationship be built not on fleeting emotions, but on a foundation of faith, trust, and commitment to the path that Allah has set for you. As you move forward, take this moment to reflect. Are you ready to trust Allah's plan fully? Are you willing to hold on, even when it feels impossible? By doing so, you are embracing the wisdom of His guidance, and in doing so, you are preparing yourself for the blessings that lie ahead.